teach secret agents for self-defense. Where'd you learn it? My mom. We do it in her aerobics class. Elbow, kick, punch! What happened? Everyone inside the school! Guns! No! Bullshit, just keep your head down!
In New York City, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. These are their stories.
Hey guys, welcome to Munch My Benson. My name is Adam. I've had a hell of a week. I'm here in New York. It was a warm day, but otherwise pretty lovely. I'm joined on the line by Josh. How are things where you are, Josh?
Who knows?
Yeah. So last week, remember when I told you guys that I didn't think I had COVID? I was wrong. And I've been sick since then. I'm finally all the way better. Today I felt fine. Yesterday I felt a little off, especially when I woke up. I had sweats when I woke up. So I probably had a little fever overnight. But man, it's my first go round with the COVID, and it sucks, man. I had a very mild case, and it still sucked. So I do not wish it upon anybody. And I hope that you, where you are, do not have it, Josh, because it seems like a lot of people I know are getting it just in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I had it, 5 weeks ago or so?
Yeah, you were the first one. You were the trendsetter, and then just recently, I hear a bunch of people getting it.
Yeah.
Which I don't like, but who knows? Maybe I'll have immunity for the next 5 weeks, which would be nice.
Sure. I have a sore throat, and I've had one for about 48 hours now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much how it started for me last time.
Yeah.
So I'm... I have yet to test positive for it.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's allergies or something, but I'm going to test again.
Yeah. So
after we record, we'll see.
In our experience, my wife and I's, I didn't test after she tested positive, so I just assumed that I had the same thing she had with good reason, but I tested negative. Same as you. Not feeling great, sore, kind of scratchy. By the time she tested positive, she basically had a low-grade fever. So that's, it's like, it's kind of late in the game as far as transmissibility goes, which sucks. But yeah, it's a real piece of shit. Basically, the three of us laid in bed for close to a week.
Yeah.
Watched a lot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Watched a lot of Ponyo. In particular, those two films saw a lot of times over the last week. Haven't really watched anything else. Before we jump into the episode, I do have a funny news item that crossed my brow today that I want to share with the readers. I want to share with the listeners.
What medium are we in, Adam?
I know. I don't know. I don't know what day it is. Yeah. But how about you? You've been watching anything, Josh?
We started that Julia Child show on HBO Max.
Cool.
I fell asleep during the first episode, but watched the second and third.
That seems like really Jackie content.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah? Nice.
I mean, she's definitely the driving factor behind that.
I'm not saying that as in a pejorative sense. Just like...
No.
That seems like Jackie content.
Oh, we watched all of The Bear. We finished The Bear, which is another... that's sort of like if you set Uncut Gems... just pacing wise, there's a lot of episodes, probably 3 of them that just feel like Uncut Gems and the like frenetic, it does not let down, but in a restaurant.
Nice. And it's like a Chicago hot beef place, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was good. There's one episode left, I believe, of Joe Pickett starring Michael Dorman. Nice. Who is the star of Patriot.
Yeah.
So watching that and liking that mostly.
I have a lot of things on my docket. I just didn't feel like starting something new. And we'd ended the stuff that we had been watching. And it's like, it's kind of hard to commit to something when you're in a fog.
I've been rewatching Veronica Mars. I'm most of the way through season 3 now.
Nice. So. That's a fun rewatch. That's a good have on while you're doing other shit show to watch, especially if you've already seen it.
Yeah, the first time, don't do that.
Yeah.
First time, like, pay attention. But yeah, it's nice to go back to that familiar place.
Yeah, so I want to share with the listeners this article. It appeared in several different publications because the United States Justice Department is launching an investigation into the real-life New York Police Department's troubled Special Victims Division. And the probe will assess whether they are, quote, engaging in a pattern or practice of gender-biased policing, according to the Department of Justice. Essentially, they are accused of re-victimizing the victims that they are supposed to be assisting. So, doing some fairly unlive shit here.
Yeah.
So the probe, the U.S. aid, said, over the last several months, we have learned concerning information from a variety of sources of historical issues about the way the Special Victims Division has conducted its investigations for many years, she said in announcing the probe. The areas of the probe will include how SVD, that's the real-life version, SVD interacts with survivors and witnesses, collects evidence, and completes investigations, how SVD allocates staffing and other resources, any steps NYPD has taken to address the deficiencies in its handling of sexual assault crimes. Let me get to the juicy stuff. Here we go. Here's the good stuff. In 2018, The Appeal, that's the publication I'm reading, documented instances in which special victims detectives pressured rape victims into signing a form that closed their case against their will. In 2019, data showed that NYPD closed nearly 500 rape cases. That's 25% of all rapes reported that year, due to an alleged lack of participation from the victims. But it seems like that might have been coerced.
Cool.
Then in 2020, the NYPD's Internal Affairs Bureau investigated several SVD sergeants and lieutenants over allegations that they had stolen company time and drank on the job. And last year, 5 former high-ranking SVD officials told The Appeal that the NYPD has spent years neglecting serious structural problems that have long damaged sex crimes and child abuse investigations in New York City. In multiple cases, women were assaulted and children were killed after detectives failed to appropriately investigate reports of rape or abuse. As you might expect, the TV version really is a lot cleaner and a lot more supportable than the real life version. But I thought I'd share that. I can link that. I'll tweet that out on our Twitter feed, because I think that's more of a now thing. I guess I can share it with you if you want to put it in the show notes too, but it will be kind of old news by then.
Yeah.
But man, I feel like we should jump into this one. The nice thing about this episode is that there's not very much breaking down a point by point that we can do, given the way we feel about the kinds of language we're comfortable speaking on this show.
Yeah. I am hard pressed to think of something I've seen that did the racism more than this.
Like, I didn't look at who wrote this, but did Quentin Tarantino write this? Because
sure feels like it.
Yeah.
It was Dawn DeNoon, so she was channeling her inner QT, I guess. It is really something. Yeah. I have like a page and a half of notes that I can't read back.
Yes.
It's shocking. Okay, so we are watching Season 7, Episode 6, Raw. Rifle reports interrupt an adolescent Krav Maga playground demonstration, sending kids and teachers running for cover, but not before one elementary school kid is dead and another 2 are hospital bound, with one of the girls wondering why she was shot to Benson and Stabler as she's being taken away. As Elliot and Liv find that children make for bad eyewitnesses, CSU isolates a neighboring rooftop as the perch from which a sniper took potshots at kids on the playground. At the hospital, Liv gets word of the arrival of the parents of the child who was shot dead, the father being a corrections officer, which theoretically opens up the possibility that his kid was the primary target on account of his being a CO at Rikers. At the makeshift family center, children are being released back to their parents with the services of trauma counselors proffered by the city. One of the released kids, who Elliot had just spoken to, refuses to go home with her mother, which means that Wong has to ask her if there's anything wrong in her home life. She says a guy with a big gun makes her pull down her pants and threatens to kill her entire family if she tells anyone anything. When they get to her abuser's apartment, The girl's uncle is kicking the ever-living shit out of this old guy. But the gun that the old guy has is an air rifle, so he's probably just a pedo, not a pedo sniper. Back at the house, Munch has traced the gun found on the rooftop to a quaintly named gun shop, Gun Ho. A teen minding the shop answers the gated door and eventually lets Elliot and Munch in. Once they press through the shop and follow noises coming from downstairs, they find a neo-Nazi clubhouse with none other than Star Morrison, who, faithful Munchies know all too well, is undercover FBI Special Agent Dana Lewis, Foghorn Leghorning her way through the day as a super racist in her first SVU appearance. She spews an insane amount of racist vitriol, like a slur every 3 seconds, slapping Munch on her way to getting arrested. They question her. She stonewalls them. The unit takes a stroll through the kid and his father's stridently racist websites, with the kid bragging about how the game he's made on the site lets you kill all kinds of minorities, dropping an N-bomb along the way because, make no mistake, these fuckers are racists. Then the kid's father storms into the precinct, raining his own bigotry deluge down on the unit as he asks for his son. Finn asks the father if young Kyle is homeschooled so as to insulate the kid from exposure to the truth, to which the kid snarls back that his dad's a brilliant teacher who doesn't have to dumb down the lesson plans like they do for the minorities in public schools. When they pull in Mr. Ackerman to ask about the sale of the gun, he stonewalls them, telling them he thinks the guy he sold the rifle to was black. As soon as Grand Dragon Daddy is released, they get a DNA hit from sweat on the sniper scope and bust down the door of a rotund skinhead who racists his way through being arrested as well. Novak and large racist's lawyer agree to pleading guilty to 25 to life for all counts served concurrently in protective custody. Judge Schuyler, however, is having none of this plea deal, admonishing Novak for even agreeing to something so reprehensible. The judge tells Brandon Lee Redding he can either take it to trial, at which point the judge will be sure to sentence as heavily as possible, or he can serve his 3 counts out consecutively, not concurrently. Redding throws a fit and is removed from the court. Star Morrison / Dana Lewis starts spewing her own racist rhetoric from the gallery and gets 3 fines for contempt of court on her way to getting locked up. Having waived his right to counsel being present, Redding serves up Ackerman, claiming he gave him the gun gratis and provided him with the target. Star contradicts Redding's claims while being questioned by Stabler, but can put Ackerman and Redding in the room together, which Novak is going to need as she goes after Ackerman. Star tells Stabler that she can't testify, but they subpoena her anyway. She pleads the 5th when asked to give her name to the court and is dismissed from testifying. Redding takes the stand and starts testifying as to how Ackerman gave him the target, only to be plugged with a bullet by Junior Hitler, who calls him a race traitor. Many more shots ring out in the courtroom. The judges got shot. Another white supremacist who mystifyingly has a badge takes out both court officers. Kyle takes Novak hostage at gunpoint. The badged white supremacist puts a slug in Munch's ass, only to be gunned down by Stabler. Stabler takes a shot in the arm and goes down, and then Kyle closes in on Stabler, who tries to talk the kid down, only to watch as the kid is shot in the back by Dana Lewis, who cries out that she's a federal agent. Dana apologizes to Munch and Finn for having to do the racism. Liv asks Elliot if she should call Kathy, who he confides has started divorce proceedings, so that call? Probably not necessary. Then Dana shows up with a folder from the feds' raid of Ackerman's place. Turns out the kid was fingered for the hit, so the CO and his wife could collect on a massive pair of life insurance policies taken out for their recently adopted black son, and we get a just when you think there can't possibly be any more racists in this episode, that happens. Dick Wolf.
Yeah. such a juicy scheme that the parents have cooked up, and we get so little time really to stew in it.
There's also, well, I guess we can get into it later. I don't want to, I guess I don't want to get into it too much, but yeah, you're not wrong.
See, I have an alternate Dick Wolf. My Dick Wolf is, look, sure, we're murderers, but we're not racist, Dick Wolf.
Yeah, sure. Man. But, I mean, they are.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the lighting or the fact that he's wearing a CO's uniform, but it's like, that dad, the first time you see him, you're like, wait, no, this guy's got to be a racist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. It also, he's in a lot of other episodes, but we'll get into that.
I know. I guess we can get there.
Yeah. So, guest stars.
Yeah.
We've talked about a lot of them already.
Thank God.
So there's not too many to talk about.
Get out of here, Marcia Gay.
Yeah. So I'm going to hold off on Paula Garces.
Okay.
She's the CSU tech on top of the
Yeah,
building.
I thought for sure we'd seen her before.
We haven't yet, but she's got a much more prominent role in another episode, so I want to wait until we hit that one. It's actually the episode right after this.
Nice.
So name. But yeah, she's in like 4 episodes. We've obviously already talked about Marcia Gay Harden, who's playing Star Morrison here, or later Dana Lewis. We talked about her back in Munch My Benson, episode 70, You Don't Blow Up Federal Buildings with Compost, season 8, episode 1, Informed. I'm almost positive we did Joe Grafossi, who's playing Hashi Horowitz, back in Munch My Benson, episode 18, Tramp Stamp Stop and Frisk, where we were talking about Underbelly. We've definitely talked about him before.
Yeah.
I just can't remember for sure which episode it was. I also know we've talked about Mike Doyle, John Cullum, Jocelyn Reyes, and Stephen Gregory. But at this point, they've been in so many episodes, I have no idea which one it was.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them we hit very early.
Stephen Gregory's been in so many episodes.
Yeah, he was in back-to-back episodes. We've had him at least 4 times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we've also talked about James Preston Bates, who's playing the ESU sergeant here. We talked about him back in Munch My Benson, episode 37. Our job is to sit there and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Where we're covering season 3, episode 15, Execution. This is the 4th different character we've seen him as.
Wow.
4 characters. Then we've also talked about Mike Watford, who's playing the corrections officer, Mark Whitlock. We talked about him back in Munch My Benson, episode 78. She Has Ears That Lend Themselves to Elfing, where we're discussing season 13, episode 22, Strange Beauty. This is the 3rd different character we've seen him play.
Yep.
In Strange Beauty, he was playing Rollins' old coworker who tries to make out with her at the bar.
Her old boss, I believe.
But he's not the boss who raped her.
No, but just a different skeezy boss from her Georgia days.
Now, on to people we can talk about.
Yeah.
We, I guess, should start with J.C. McKenzie, who's playing Brian Ackerman.
Yeah.
He was born in Peterborough, Ontario, to a pharmacist father and nurse mother. He was raised in Ottawa, graduating from Sir John A. Macdonald High School before studying at Concordia University in Montreal and the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. He worked in theater across Canada until Neil Simon chose him to do the national tour of Biloxi Blues. His breakout role was as Arnold Spivak in the Emmy-winning series Murder 1, where he was main cast. He's also main cast in Dark Angel, Vinyl, and October Faction. He's had recurring roles in The Practice, The Shield, Gigantic, Hemlock Grove, Madam Secretary, The Girl from Plainville, and Gaslit. Those last 2 are very new. He's been in the films Dutch, Clockers, Heavy, He Got Game, The Aviator, The Day the Earth Stood Still, The Wolf of Wall Street, Molly's Game, The Irishman, The Hunt, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. He's been in 3 other SVUs as 2 other characters that we've not seen yet.
Yeah.
He's also in 1 episode of the original series, 1 episode of New York Undercover, and 1 episode of Criminal Intent. He is married to screenwriter Erin Cressida Wilson, who wrote Secretary, Chloe, and The Girl on the Train. And other stuff. Those are kind of the highlights for her. Next up, John Rubinstein, who's playing Judge Schuyler. He was born in L.A. His father was famed concert pianist Arthur Rubinstein.
Yeah.
He grew up in Beverly Hills, Paris, and New York, eventually graduating from collegiate school and then studying theater and music at UCLA and later composition at Juilliard. He made his Broadway debut in 1972, receiving a Theatre World Award for creating the title role in Pippin, directed by Bob Fosse. He won the Tony, Drama Desk, LA Drama Critics Circle and Dramalogue Awards for his portrayal of James Leeds in Children of a Lesser God in 1980. He's done a ton of other stage work. Like, to go into it is pointless for this show, but he's done a fuckload of stage work. He's also got 224 acting credits on IMDb.
So many. He's
been main cast in Crazy Like a Fox. He's had recurring roles in The Practice, Angel, The Guardian, 24, Barbershop, The Show, Girlfriends, Dirty Sexy Money, Parenthood, Wizards of Waverly Place, Desperate Housewives, The Mentalist, Perception, Feud, Dear White People, and Claws. He's in one episode of the original series as well. Yeah. He's been in the films The Car, The Boys from Brazil, Someone to Watch Over Me, Another Stakeout, Red Dragon, 21 Grams, Hello, I Must Be Going, Atlas Shrugged 2, The Strike, and Being the Ricardos. Every time I hit at one of those dumb Atlas Shrugged movies, I throw it in there, and I know no one has fucking seen it. He also composed the music for Jeremiah Johnson, The Candidate, Kid Blue, and the 1976 incarnation of The Killer Inside Me, based on the Jim Thompson novel, along with the music for over 50 TV films. He hosted the radio program Carnegie Hall Tonight for 6 years. He is thrice married, the father of 5 children, including Michael Weston, who plays Simon Marsden, Liv's biological half-brother.
What do you know?
I remembered that because I do this, but
I just really want to watch this RoboCop TV series from 1994, because I do not remember that. I'm sure it was awful.
I can't fathom it being good, but... So then we've got Joel Marsh Garland, who's playing Brannon Lee Redding.
Yeah.
He was born in Rome, New York, studied acting at Bennington College. In addition to acting, he's the lead singer for the band The Atomic Grind Show. He's had recurring roles in Kings, Bored to Death, Feed the Beast, The Last OG, Joe vs. Carol, and probably most notably in Orange is the New Black, where he's in roughly half of them, like 42, I think, episodes. He's also been in the film See You in September, which Tamara Tooney directed.
Nice.
What Maisie Knew, and Birdman. He's in one other SVU, one episode of the Cabot spinoff Conviction, and 2 episodes of the original series. Then we've got Cody Cash, who's playing Kyle Ackerman.
Yeah.
He was born in Santa Monica, lived in Ojai until the age of 13, when he and his family moved in a little closer to LA to Camarillo, as he and his brothers were beginning to act. He was in the main cast in the first 2 seasons of Desperate Housewives, and also in the main cast of the show Normal, Ohio. That's it for him.
Basically.
Next up, Maren Hinkle, who's playing Janice Whitlock and is probably not related to Cassidy Hinkle, who is playing Maddie McCorkle, who doesn't have that many roles.
I thought for sure they had to be related.
I mean, I guess she could be like an aunt or something, but I don't know.
Oh, she's not. I didn't look through Maren Hinkle's shit to find out if she had a daughter.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
Or she doesn't have a daughter, Cassidy, that's for sure.
Right on.
So, Maren Hinkle was born in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, with her parents who were still serving in the Peace Corps at the time. They moved to the States when she was 4 months old. Her mother, Margaret Hinkle, ended up being a judge of the Superior Court of Massachusetts, and her father, Rodney, was a college dean and teacher. She went to Newton South High School and then attended Brown and the graduate acting program at Tisch, NYU's acting program.
Yeah.
She was main cast in Once and Again, the first 9 seasons of 2.5 Men, Deception, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, where she plays the mother. She's had recurring roles in Brothers and Sisters, the Sarah Silverman program, Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, Speechless, and Homeland. She's been in the films I'm Not Rappaport, Frequency, I Am Sam, Dark Blue, Friends with Money, The X, and the newest 2 Jumanjis, where she's one of the characters' mothers. She was in an episode of House that I just watched as well.
Nice.
Then we've got James Biberi, who is playing... I have no idea how to say his last name. I was guessing with Biberi. He's playing ESU Captain Bauer. He's Albanian-American. He was born in Jakova, Kosovo. He's in the films Analyze That, the 2005 producers, Find Me Guilty, The Brave One, Drive, Dead Man Down, and Ocean's 8. He's had recurring roles on Rescue Me, 100 Center Street, and Hightown. He was a narcotics lieutenant in Juvenile. We will see him 2 more times. He is in 4 Criminal Intents and 6 episodes of the original series. The last guest star I've got, because I decided to cut it off here. We have so many people who are...
There's a long list of guests in this one because there's a lot of kids that have time and a lot of parents and it just goes on and on.
I looked through all of them, but if they didn't have anything that jumped out at me, I had to exercise some judiciousness here.
Yeah.
Last one, Harry Madsen, who's playing Mr. Bughazi.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Bug Eyes. Yeah.
Mr. Bug Eyes. Munchies just saw him as the hitman who was smashed in the elevator scene in Alphabet City.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
No way. That's amazing. Fantastic.
So he was stuntman / coordinator on tons of stuff, including Superfly.
Wow.
Night of the Juggler.
Wow.
Chud.
Damn.
After Hours. Angel Heart.
Wow.
The Money Pit. 3 Men and a Baby, New Jack City.
These are great credits.
The Fisher King, and Mannequin on the Move. Mannequin 2.
Badass. So you mentioned 3 Men and a Baby. That reminds me that we did watch 3 Men and a Little Lady this week.
I'm sorry.
For some reason, my wife really likes that one. And I'm like, why are you watching this one and not the first one, the better one?
I guess it makes sense age-wise, though.
Not really.
Because she's younger enough than us that, that came out when she could have put herself in the role of the little lady when she was a kid watching it.
That's exactly what she did. Yes, that's exactly what she did. And it's like, I mean, Gutenberg barely has a part in that one.
Yeah.
It's like, why even watch it? Are we done with guests?
Yeah, that's all I've got, unless you've got any to add.
No, I don't care about any of these people.
Okay.
There were some really precious kids in this one.
I don't know about that.
All right, so we're back. Josh, I didn't ask you earlier. I know you're not feeling great, but are you drinking anything tonight?
Just water.
Water? Yeah, it's probably good for you. I'm drinking some Bullet bourbon.
Yeah, you're on the other side, brother.
I am. I need this to make me feel like a normal person again.
No, I wish I were, but it's probably best not to right now.
Yeah, it's probably smart, at least get that shit moving. If it's not COVID, then you just shave yourself a little bit of empty calories or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah, so should we jump into this?
Yeah, this is going to probably be the most difficult episode for us to talk about that we've covered yet.
I thought so, but I found a few things that are fun to talk about.
Okay.
That are not going to require us to really dive into exactly what Star Morrison said, because I'm not even taking notes about that shit because it's just like...
I took notes about all of that shit, but it was mostly to keep account.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what your numbers are, because there's a lot of stuff that I would not feel comfortable ever uttering. I would not feel comfortable really writing it.
It is shocking. I don't feel comfortable having, my notes can never go public for this, because it is just quotes and, things seen it is just shocking.
Yeah.
So the Krav Maga demo is super fun.
So I have one little thing before then. So I think it's weird that there's a bus unloading kids straight into this playground, because they're at school. It's in the day. Usually you go from the bus to the school, and then
you go
in the middle of the day you go outside to the playground.
Absolutely. And the bus wouldn't be there probably.
Yeah, and we established later that that's clearly where the school is, because we're talking to the principal.
Right.
I think Cragen's talking to the principal.
And one of the classrooms has a bullet hole through the wall.
Exactly.
Although that angle seems really weird. It makes it seem like Brandon Lee Redding is a very bad shot if he took that shot.
Yeah, because it's charitably aiming 15, 20 feet above where the kid's head would have been.
Yeah, above the playground. It is, there's a shot from the classroom where you can see the cop cars on the street, and they're a full 10 feet lower.
Yeah, it's a story up. For a guy with a large hunting rifle who has absolutely all the time in the world, that's a pretty bad shot.
Yeah.
It's not like whatever the chick with the fucking scope on her handgun.
Yeah. But yeah, the Krav Maga demo's fun. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, kids are shot on the playground, which is decidedly not fun.
No.
So, and any fun is immediately wiped the fuck out.
Yeah. And it's I don't know. It just seems like one of those things that maybe we've seen it so many times that
the weird thing is all of those times pretty much are since this episode aired.
I know. That's what I mean. Brutal. I love these little tykes. why did they shoot me?
Yeah, what did Annabelle, who's on the gurney, asks, what did I do? Why did they shoot me?
Yeah, she's pretty sweet. And then the other kid, the kid who's like in the swing, who gets shot through the leg, who has the glasses. For some reason, his glasses are shattered when they get to the hospital, which I don't quite understand.
It doesn't make any sense because he didn't fall out of the...
No, he was sitting there calmly.
Oh, yeah.
At least when we last saw him.
The other insane thing is, like, I'm sure they had a crash pad for the kid playing the primary target who was spun around by the first gunshot, but it seems crazy that they did a stunt with a kid.
Yeah.
Because he's spun and flung to the ground, even with a crash pad. Like, they don't do stunts with kids. There aren't stunt kids, you know? So kind of crazy that they're doing that. Now, they've got a lot of kid actors having to play freshly traumatized by a school shooting. Pre-Sandy Hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is a hell of a roll of the dice, SVU. I don't know that the kids pull it off. I guess I'm glad they don't, really.
Yeah, I don't know how you could possibly ask like real life kids to pull that off authentically, you know, without having a lot more information about what that would be like.
Sure. They also they have a lot riding on Maddie telling them about Mr. Bug Eyes.
Yeah.
Cassidy Hinkle had just turned 8 when they had her tell us about Mr. Bug Eyes making her pull her pants down and threatening to kill her mother.
It's a pretty brutal thing to get an 8-year-old to say.
Yeah, I'm guessing she's in therapy now.
I don't remember. I assume she doesn't have too many credits to her name after this.
She does. She has more than I thought she would.
Nice.
She's still in stuff until she's probably about 15.
Nice. Now, the glasses kid was probably my favorite because whatever. Stephen Gregory's like, you'll be running a marathon in no time. And he's like, I never ran in a marathon. I really love that kid, even though he's a snitch and he snitches on Johnny Mayhew, which probably with good cause. Johnny Mayhew shouldn't bring a gun to school. And Johnny Mayhew's fucking mom is one of the worst moms we've seen in this run of programs that we've watched.
I mean, if she's got a shitbird kid who brings...
She leaves her gun unlocked, unsafety, loaded for the kid to bring to fucking school. She's a fucking shitty mom.
But I think she probably has to routinely get to the gun quickly, and it has to be ready to fire.
Did you see how big her house was? Her house was massive. She doesn't live in Manhattan.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there's a whole backstory with her.
You think there's a backstory to Johnny Mayhew and his mom?
Yeah, big time.
And her brother.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought she was a real piece of work. And...
Oh, absolutely. But it was fun. Okay, so we kind of have a fuckload of red herrings in this episode. Really, like the whole episode's a red herring. You know, we ultimately find out that the white supremacists were really just in it for their chunk of the insurance payout.
I know, which is really funny.
Does that not render the entire, like, undercover angle a pointless misdirect?
This is my biggest problem with Dana Lewis as a character. She's profoundly bad at her job. Like, wildly bad at her job. Yeah. One of the worst. In a show that has people that are bad at their jobs, Dana Lewis might be the very worst.
She has to know that Kyle and the badge white supremacist brought the guns in, right?
At the very least, she probably should have announced what was going on before that became a thing. You know, like, I think if your operation leads to like 4 bodies needlessly...
Okay, so you froze up at you starting to talk about her undercover op ending in 4 bodies dropping.
I feel like if a judge dies in the course of your undercover operation, you didn't do a very good job. I think that's
a judge, 2 court officers.
One is still clinging to life.
Yeah, sorry. One. Okay, a judge is killed. A court officer is killed. Another one's on like critical condition. 2 other cops are shot.
Yeah. A 16-year-old kid is dead. Now, he was a shooter, but still.
The witness on the stand, also murdered.
Yeah.
Not that we should feel that bad for him, because he was the one who killed the kid on the playground.
Still, it's a crap load of bodies.
Yeah.
A crap load of bodies. And what did you get? Like, what conviction of these people did you get? Like, insurance fraud? Is that really going to shut Raw down forever?
They raided the Ackerman shit and stopped an Oklahoma City-style bombing from happening.
Big problem with that. But we'll get there.
Sure. So the first red herring that we get is Johnny Mayhew bringing a gun to the first day of school.
Yeah.
Then immediately, I think it's before they even go to Johnny Mayhew's house, the CSU tech is pulling the gun out of the vent on the roof or whatever.
Yeah.
And she drops the Godfather line, leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we get to the hospital, and Mrs. Whitlock is way too convincing as the grieving adoptive mother. Like, you would think that Mrs. Whitlock went to Tish, not that Maren Hinkle did.
Yeah, Mrs. Whitlock, the first time I saw it, I went, oh, great. We're going to see some fucking waterworks. This lady's going to be a mess. And the second time I watched it, I was just like, God damn you, you racist crocodile tears. Like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of monster cooks up this scheme? Of all the schemes that we've seen, adopt a kid so that you can murder him a year later and collect insurance money is nuts. One of the most fucked schemes I've ever heard.
Like, it's probably the most odious thing we see anyone do in an episode of SVU. It is shocking.
Oh my God.
I'm looking up something about her real quick.
About Maren Hinkle?
Because she's Rose Wiseman on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't seem that old, and so it kind of bothers me that she's playing... Well, okay, I guess she could have been 23 or 4 when Rachel Brosnahan was born. It just didn't seem like she's older enough.
Yeah, but you think if you're like styling somebody in the 50s, early 60s look, they're going to look substantially older, I think.
I guess we're paying her a compliment, or I am.
Yeah. We mostly see the hollow look of guilt on her face. That's what we're seeing. At first, we think it's actual grief, but then we find out that it's just guilt. It's like, I can't believe I did this.
Or sociopathy.
Her husband is a sociopath. I think she feels guilty.
Dude, the second time I watched, I really don't know who was like driving the train. He's like making sure the train's on the tracks, but she's shoveling coal into the fucker. Like, they're gonna get that fucking DeLorean up to 88 miles per hour.
Yeah, they are, dude.
Okay, so then we get red herring number 2 very quickly after Johnny Mayhew, which is molester Mr. Bughazi and his air rifle.
Yeah.
About that, the mom really should not have left her kid with the old pedo in the building.
With the random old man. I like to think that men are good stewards of young children. I think that we can be, but I feel
You're projecting, I think.
Yes. I feel like if a random old guy offered to take care of my kid, if he wasn't family or I hadn't known him for an extremely long time, I would feel a lot less comfortable than if it was a random old lady, right? Like, I think there's a, it's not to say that old ladies can't also be pedophiles. It just seems a lot less likely. It seems a lot less likely. Now, I want to talk about Mr. Bughazi a little bit because I was appreciating his decor in his apartment.
I'm glad you were watching for it.
Yeah, he had a very, it was a throwback for me. Coming from Galveston, where I lived for 8 years, I was used to a lot of schmaltzy salt life kind of scenes in people's houses. And Bug Eyes went hard on the twinge of salt life. He probably had like a diffuser that's just salt. Sea smell
sure.
It's diffused into the air, but we
Red
have
tide.
yeah at times. Yeah. But so there's a tall ship model. There's a lampshade that has seashells on it. There's a large 2-panel beach scene on the wall off to the left. There's also a nautilus shell on a stand.
Nice.
I'm a big fan of nautiluses. I think they're one of the more fascinating creatures out there. Fans of cephalopods will know that nautiluses are the only cephalopod with an external shell. You know, sometimes they have the internal shell, the squids and the cuttlefish. But yeah, the nautiluses have the external shell. And then he has a stack of CDs, which I can only assume is just over and over again burned copies of the song Sailing. So he has an hour and a half of Sailing on every single CD, which he just repeats. Plays it over and over again.
I would guess that he's doing Sailing interspersed with different readings of the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
Oh, yeah. And maybe he has that Ween, that Ween like
Ocean Man?
Yeah, he probably has that album.
Yeah, he probably has the Mollusk. Mm. Yeah.
Oh, you know that Dean Ween does charter fishing tours? That's like his business now.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Anyways, so I just appreciated that. It made me feel like I was at a vacation rental in Galveston.
Sure.
That one of my friends or family members was renting. Then we come to the gun store. They find the gun store and we're heading down. We're heading there. Elliot and Munch show up at the door.
They do.
And the kid does not just let them in.
No.
Elliot essentially forces the kid to let him in. So, you know. Now, to be fair, he talked him into letting him in, but still,
sure,
pretty fucked up. 16-year-old kid.
Yeah, seems like a bit of an overreach.
Still, they walk downstairs.
And from the 1620 mark until at least the 3711 mark.
Yeah, you can cue the season 2 Eastbound and Down I love to racism line.
For sure.
That's racism, man. I love to racism, bro.
So seriously, I have, I don't know, probably 50 bullet points.
My note is so many things we can't repeat.
I counted 56 incidents of bigotry from 1620 to 4157, but almost all of it is before the 3711 mark.
Yeah.
If you're just going between 1620 and 3711, just under 21 minutes, 20.85 minutes, there are a whopping 54 racist, anti-Semitic, misogynist, or homophobic things said or shown.
Yeah.
So 1 every 23 seconds, but it is coming a lot faster than that through like the first 5 minutes of this section.
So we walk down the stairs, right? And the first thing we see is Munchy.
Huge Nazi flag.
You don't see that every day. Massive swastika flag. You see that. And then there's like a stack of like racist brochures. We see all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, great. Let's jump in here and see what happens. And then fucking Marcia Gay walks out the corner and the Foghorn Leghorn horn just like goes, whoop, and she starts saying things that aren't fun anymore. It's not fun.
Nope, not even remotely. No. She sniffs the air when Munch is nearby and then insinuates that she can smell that he is Jewish with a single slur and a question mark. And we're off to the fucking races.
Sure are.
I mean, like, we can't fucking say any of this. No, like, I don't want to. No. But like, we're talking about 21 minutes of episode that we basically can't talk about because they've rendered it
There's a few things we can talk about. Now, first, I'm assuming that MGH improvised all of her content in this. I assume she was just feeling the character.
Well, and I mean, like, I still think it's insane that she's stuck with this Southern accent throughout the rest of the time. Like, she could have said it was because she was undercover and then gone back to her normal voice, which is not this. To reiterate, because I've gotten pushback from this online before, this is not her voice. Watch her accept her Oscar.
Marcia Gay Harden and Pollock.
This is the first Academy Award and nomination for Marcia Gay Harden.
Thank you. What a thrill. Members of the Academy, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to even view the tape and consider our film. Ed Harris, thank you for inviting me to share your passion. You are a brave director and an even braver actor, and I love you. Dad, who's here tonight, thank you for teaching me how to soldier through tough situations, and Mom for teaching me how to do it gracefully.
Okay, here's the thing, right? So Josh and I lived in Texas. Austin especially, it's a different accent. Yeah. Austin has its own accent. San Antonio has its own accent. East Texas, you get a little bit closer to this, but it's not. She's doing some kind of like, I don't know. She doesn't know what she's doing. It's one problem.
Because she only grew up fleetingly in the South, too.
Yeah,
like,
it's not Georgia. It's not Virginia. It's not the low countries of the Carolinas. It's certainly not fucking Alabama, backwoods. It's not Louisiana. That's for fucking sure. It's a fake accent.
It's if Foghorn Leghorn was from South Carolina, maybe.
I declare.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
It is embarrassing. And if she dropped it when she announced that she was a federal agent, it would have been like, oh, you were undercover. Oh, we don't need to talk about that accent anymore. That was plainly false to anybody that's ever driven south of Baltimore.
Absolutely.
It's fucking shocking.
I mean, it's not as shocking as all of the racism that's done in this episode, but wow.
But as far as the things that we can really unpack, it's pretty shocking.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of racism against Southerners in its own way. Oh,
absolutely. It is. Like, it's, you know who can't be racists? Anyone not from the South. Sorry, but the North has plenty of fucking racists,
too. It
too.
Sure fucking does. In fact, we will be able to talk about one in a second here.
Can we talk super fast about the fact that this is the second straight week that homeschooling has gotten absolutely throttled by SVU?
Absolutely.
I mean, last week was like explicitly anti-homeschooling, but this isn't far from it. This is sort of what we were like offhandedly, or at least I was offhandedly like half joking about, but like it's here, it's in this one.
Yeah, he doesn't need to tone down lesson plans. Well, you know what? He did learn how to code, so he's got that going for him because he designed a really top-notch game, Josh. I forget what the name of the game was. This was on their website. There was the Raw website, which was actually pretty boring.
It's called The Final Solution.
No, The Final Solution was the name of the game. That's exactly right. So Raw had its own website, and it really had pretty anodyne shit all over it. I paused, looked to see if there's anything really interesting. Today's Birthdays was kind of like one of the biggest links on it.
That was on blitzkriegkids.com though, right? Not blitzkriegwarriors.org.
Both of them had Today's Birthdays.
Okay.
The Raw main page had Today's Birthdays and
Okay.
Blitzkrieg Kids did. So yeah, we go to blitzkriegwarriors.org and then Blitzkrieg Kids, which is where Kyle has the games that he's created. Blitzkrieg Kids had the most fun with the screen names that I saw. There were names like Lily White, spelled with a Y, like WHYTE, Jesus Freak, White Warrior, and Pride 77 PRYDE. I don't know what 77 means. I was trying to figure that out. Honestly, didn't have a very good answer for you because I don't feel like
probably their birth year or something.
Maybe they're just big fans of the first Clash album, with 1977 on it. So I really want to talk about the game because, like Mr. Bughazi, it also reminded me of Alphabet City. So it's like if the scene from it looked like a street scene from Alphabet City. It's like dark. It's obviously not very high image quality, but there's Klan hooded RoboCop looking dudes that are shouting, "Keep running, Jew."
I didn't say it. I mean, it's written here. It's written. I have the note. I know it was in the episode, but
it's one of the least awful things that any of these characters say, Josh. And then Kyle turns to them and he says,
Keep running, Jew! Keep running!
The game's called Final Solution. Players get to be a cyber clansman or a skinhead gang member, chase minorities around a virtual urban landscape.
Little webmaster racemeister, huh?
I have the current high score.
He's so proud of his work.
He has a high score.
He does. He designed it and he has the high score. And then Munch asks, "What the hell is JFK Reloaded?" And Finn says, "Trust me, you don't want to go there." And I kind of want to go there. I like the idea that Munch is so into conspiracy theories that he's willing to entertain something that was on blitzkriegkids.org.
There's so little we can talk about. I guess we can jump ahead to the judge telling Novak that she should be ashamed for agreeing to the plea deal.
No. Because we meet Brandon Lee.
It's
whatever his name is. Brandon
even
Lee.
Better. He's such a racist that he can't even have a real first name.
Yeah. They did a very good job of naming him as a racist shooter. Like the FBI, when they assassinate a black leader, they have like a list of guys with this name to use as their patsies, right? Like they are lining rows and rows of these guys.
Yeah, like when they assassinated MLK.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess they didn't assassinate Malcolm X, but...
probably assassinate Malcolm X.
I mean, it was in an open room and it was rival shooters that they pitted against him, but...
Yeah, followers of Elijah Muhammad, who will come up in a second. But Judge Schuyler is a...
Schuyler.
It's Schuyler. Judge Schuyler, yeah. He is definitely not an all-nonsense judge. He is not even a some-nonsense judge. He's a no-nonsense judge.
Yeah, I do think that Mordoc's actually probably right when he's telling Schuyler that Redding shouldn't be allowed to testify to corroborate evidence because they can't put him in the room together without Starr's testimony.
Well, and that, he's letting his passionate feelings about the case cloud his judgment. And now I think the way that Barry Mordock, he plays the role very well because we don't see Barry Mordock very much. But we do think of him as...
We usually see him as a judge, but he does pop up on free speech shit.
He definitely has that kind of like smug, condescending tone that he uses. And he's very effective at being a guy who's right, but also you hate him for it, right? Like he's right, but you're like, shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like in this case, maybe there was a more diplomatic way to talk to Judge Schuyler about his judgments.
It's not like Mordock wasn't also a judge. He knows that he's basically setting up the case movies to be appealed immediately with grounds.
Yeah, it's true. Now, Brandon Lee Redding was very proud of his bottle cap swastika.
Yes, he was.
Which I thought was funny. He was really proud of that. And they spent a long time building that. Like, that was bottle caps. So, like, art department, that was a whole 4 or 5 hours. Like, that's like a fucking day's work building that thing to be in one shot for a second.
For like
maybe a second.
It's pretty crazy. He also, of course, had Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's an art department creation, I'm assuming no one went out.
I mean, it's one of the best-selling books of all time, right? Like, behind the Bible, if I remember correctly.
You're confusing that with Art of the Deal.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Different Nazi.
Okay, so we're in this scene, right? And then star fucking Dana Lewis Morrison stands up and she turns the dial up an extra notch in this court scene. And it's like
the one where she's getting tossed.
Yeah. And this is a problem that I have, right? For one thing, she's alone with the SVUs in interrogation at least twice because she's being interrogated by them. And then after this contempt charge, she's like in lockup where they can interview her privately. Seems like a good time to maybe let them know what's going on. Now, I understand if you think that your cover's so deep that you have to worry about the fucking neo-Nazis inside SVU that might blow your cover.
Sure.
Which, you know, in real life, maybe that's the case. But it does seem like a problem here. And another problem, it seems like getting charged with contempt of court doesn't seem like a very good way to maintain your cover. It seems like a way that your shit would get exposed.
Right.
And so why do it? You don't have to prove anything, right? You're there. You maybe can make some statement without being charged with contempt.
I can at least understand a little bit how it could validate her in the eyes of Ackerman. I mean, you tell the arresting officer because it's a separate holding cell for the judges, like where you're held for contempt, which we saw in Crushed. Was that the name of the episode?
Was that the one with the holding cell?
Oh, yeah, it is, actually. It is separate holding cells, but yes, I can at least understand how she's thinking that it validates her.
Yeah.
I have much less a problem with that than I do with the turn at the end just invalidates everything that has happened before it. Because you also don't understand why Ackerman would even set this up. You know that a school shooting like this is so high profile that it's going to get thoroughly investigated, even though it probably shouldn't be investigated by SVUs, but that's
I'm sure Ackerman knows some other shady gun dealers who will accept a like scribbled George Lincoln Rockwell signature to buy your fucking gun, which I think is a good segue because I want to talk briefly about George Lincoln Rockwell because he's brought up and he's definitely kind of like the inspiration for the Brian Ackerman character. So George Lincoln Rockwell, he is the founder of the American Nazi Party. It's called the National Socialist White People's Party. He's born in Bloomington, Illinois, so in the North. He studied at Brown University and then dropped out and joined the Navy. He served in World War II in Korea and then achieved fairly high rank and was honorably discharged due to his views being incredibly racist in 1960. He regularly praised Adolf Hitler and eventually went on to form really the kind of like most radical right-wing faction in the 1960s. They did far out shit. They'd set up a hate bus where they were following around the Freedom Riders with a Volkswagen van. They'd like painted swastikas.
They also
on.
Famously lobbied for the march, right?
Yeah, and ACLU defended their right to march and do these other things. Now, a couple things that I wanted to bring up. They had a record label, and as far as I know, they released 2 singles. One was by a band called Otis Cochran and the Three Bigots. And the other was by a band that I can't say the name. And I can't say the name of any of the 4 songs that were on any of those records. But I just wanted to bring that up.
It's safe to say those songs will also not be getting dropped in here.
No. He was friends with Elijah Muhammad. So that's the leader of the Nation of Islam, the guy who is alleged to have had Malcolm X assassinated. That's sort of the mainstream version of the Malcolm X assassination. Now, his death is interesting, and I wanted to bring it up. He was shot and killed while leaving a laundromat in Arlington, Virginia, by a member of his group who had been expelled. He'd been assassinated. Now, this guy was a former member who wanted to inject more Marxist views into their, literature, and Rockwell kicked him out, and the guy shot him for it. Now, his funeral is more interesting than his murder because I don't really care about his murder. But his funeral, it was on August 27th, 1967. It was a military funeral at Culpeper National Cemetery. The cemetery specified that no Nazi insignia could be displayed. And the 50 mourners, like every single one of them, violated these conditions. So the military barred the entrance to the cemetery, and there was a 5-hour standoff during which the hearse was nearly struck by a train because it was sitting on train tracks. And the next day, Rockwell's body was secretly cremated with no burial. So fuck that guy.
Yep.
May he rot in hell. Yeah. And then one other thing I meant to bring up earlier is, so when they're tracing the gun originally, the gun was made in Sturgis, South Dakota, which just seems like a random place to make a gun. Because
have you been to Sturgis?
No, I've never been to Sturgis. At least not as an adult. I might have when I was little.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been there in a long time, but it seems impossible to me that there is manufacturing there.
Wrong. There was a gun manufacturer that was based in Sturgis. Okay. They have shuttered their doors. They're called Dakota Arms Inc.
Okay.
They were bought out by Remington in 2009 and they stopped manufacturing. But they manufactured from 1986 to 2009. So it was a very small kind of boutique gun shop.
A mom and pop gun manufacturer.
My understanding is that it was like basically like what you call artisanal gun. Like they were like a metal worker shop and they were like artisanal gun manufacturers. So they had a few different kind of designs. And you could order them in a variety of calibers, do all sorts of stuff. It seems like looking at gunvalues.gundigest.com, it seems like nearly all of their guns are either shotguns or like bolt action hunting rifles.
Mm-hmm.
So no folding stocks, not like sniper rifles that you kill kids with on playgrounds, but things that you go deer hunting with, I guess, is what it looks like to me. Or dove hunting, I guess, if you've got the shotgun.
I guess I've got a couple things.
I've got a few things. I've got one kind of big surprise for Josh when we get there, but we're gonna keep going down the list.
All right. So obviously we've got Dana Lewis in this episode, which means that Stabler has to end up almost dying.
Yeah.
Also, Munch gets shot in the ass. So 2 members of the unit are wounded because
I have an issue
of Dana
with
Lewis.
Munch getting shot in the ass. So that Barry Van Dyke...
The angle does not make any sense.
Yeah, the Barry Van Dyke looking motherfucker and Munch are staring at each other when the guy shoots. And one of the court officers gets shot in the ass. We don't see the dead court officer, I presume.
No, we definitely miss one of the court officers getting shot.
But the other court officer we see getting shot in the ass by, I'm calling him Barry Van Dyke. Sure. I know it is not the legend of stage and screen Barry Van Dyke, star of Diagnosis Murder.
Co-star of Diagnosis
Star
Murder.
of my heart. But when he turns to shoot Munch, their shoulders are facing each other. It's a very difficult shot to hit somebody's ass, especially a scrawny man like Munch. Like Richard Belzer is a very thin man from top to bottom. And it seems very hard for me to understand how he could have gotten shot in the ass. Also, doesn't seem like getting shot in the ass is like a good place for him to get shot.
Yeah.
Femur are like, it's a lot of big bones. You don't want to get hit down there if you don't have much cushion.
He does get to ask Finn if he wants to kiss his ass wound to make it better.
Now, here's where I'm going to digress, Josh, because I wanted to find the fig shake from McGinty's. That's what Munch said. So I looked that up. Apparently, there are sort of like fig smoothies, fig shakes around. I couldn't find one that really stood out as probably being a stand-in for McGinty's. And then I found an article on a website called fanfiction.net entitled The Fig Shake Universe. And it is what you think it is. It is based on this episode of the show.
Okay.
And I want to read a passage from it, if you don't mind.
Cool. Who's the author?
The author is Storyteller 1985.
Okay, cool. Love their work.
We're going to start at, thank you for not making me have to break in another partner. I'm glad you pulled through it, bro. Yeah, that was badass cop Odafin Tutuola talking. The man who could get a confession out of a suspect with one hard look. And if he was honest with himself, he needed it this way right now. He needed to be able to control the situation, to be able to hide behind his hard and gruff exterior, because Finn felt that if this mask would slip away now, he would lose it and do something really stupid. Finn! The confusion was evident in John's voice. Only now he realized that he'd been staring at an undefined spot on his pants for several minutes. What? Is something wrong? Elliot is okay, isn't he? Silently, Finn scolded himself for increasing John's worries rather than diminishing them. Nervously, he began to wring his fingers. The situation was spinning out of his hands, and at the moment he had no idea what to do against it. Elliot is fine. Kyle Ackerman shot him in the arm and wanted to finish him off, but Dana saved him. He will have his arm in a sling for a couple weeks, and after that he should be as good as new. When John not only didn't answer to that, but also stared at him with a deep frown on his brow, Finn got more and more restless. The strange silence was beginning to wear him out. I'm sorry. But Finn had to admit that his last defenses broke when John took his hand and laced their fingers together. I'm not going anywhere, Finn. I'm right here. Swallowing hard, Finn looked up and met his eyes. The brown was filled with a mix of emotions that took him completely by surprise. Tiredness, pain, concern, sympathy, warmth, and above all, that was something Finn didn't want to examine too closely. Oda! Finn smiled shakily. It was weird, but right now John's voice was as warm as his eyes, and he didn't know his partner like this. Before, he had always been the cynical and sarcastic conspiracy theorist who had grown on him. But now nothing was like before, and Finn wasn't used to this change. Hell, he wasn't even sure he wanted this change, because he simply felt that it would be irrevocable. Oda! John repeated the short form of his name that hardly anyone used. It was strange, but for Finn, it felt even more intimate between them when he did this. And with that, there was the change in the situation that he had feared. Because this wasn't Finn and Munch anymore. This was now John and Oda. This wasn't something he could handle. It was too much. And suddenly there were the tears, hot, unwelcomed, and extremely embarrassing. Despite that, Finn couldn't do a single thing to stop them. The one thing he didn't expect, however, was the feeling of strong arms around his shoulders, pulling him towards a strong chest. When he finally felt John's heartbeat against his own, Finn relaxed for the first time since he had learned what had happened. It's okay, Finn. It's okay. Never before had John's voice sounded this soft. Finn shuddered at that. He didn't know how long he stayed in his arms nonetheless. What seemed like a lifetime later, the tears subsided and he got calmer. Hesitantly, Finn pulled back a little. Thereby, he made sure not to lose the whole contact. I'm sorry, John. I shouldn't have. The finger on his lip stopped him. You have no reason to be sorry for anything, Finn. I think it was all a bit too much today. Helplessly, Finn waved his hand around to express how he felt at the moment. John only sighed at that. I know. Surprised, he looked at him. Trust me, Finn, I know. I know how it feels. With this, he put his hand on Finn's chest, directly over the bullet wound scar there. At that, Finn gave him a smile. We're even now, aren't we? Think so. John took a deep breath. Finn? How long does this go on? I'm going to skip forward slightly. When you were shot back then, I really thought I'd lost you. That you would die on me before I had the chance to talk to you. To be finally honest with you. I was so close. But before I could do something about it, we slipped back into our everyday life. In our routine, I lost the chance again. But today I realized something, Finn. I can't go on like this. Life is so damn short, and I don't want to wake up sometime and realize that I am too late. But he was distracted when Finn cupped his face between his hands. Do you ever shut up, actually? He wanted to know with a soft smile. Before John could react, Finn leaned in close and brought his lips to his. ... I'm just going to leave it there. There's a denouement, but I think you get the gist.
Yeah, we'll link that in the show notes as well.
I was really, really tickled when I found that.
As you should have been.
Now, the last thing, we get the big reveal. Marcia Gay Harden is really Dana Lewis, or Star Morrison is really Dana Lewis.
Yeah.
And
Marcia Gay Harden might actually be Dana Lewis too. We don't know.
She's really proud of herself for bringing down this bombing that's about to happen. And she says they had 50 pounds of ammonium nitrate and some other things that you need to build a bomb. It was an exact replica of the Oklahoma City bombing that McVeigh used. It was not.
Nope.
Timothy McVeigh used 4,800 pounds of ammonium nitrate when he blew up the federal building. The Alfred P. Murrah.
He needed a moving truck.
Yes, and he bottomed out that fucking moving truck with the weight that was in there. It's a big difference.
Like 100 times.
Yes. It's just like shocking to me that this is the second Dana Lewis episode that we've had the same mistake.
Yep.
Where it's like, you need a lot of ammonium
nitrate. Understanding the scope of what you need to actually make this explosion happen.
We don't have video of the Oklahoma City bombing, but we do have video of an ammonium nitrate explosion that was much bigger than the Oklahoma City bombing. That's the Beirut explosion from, 2020. So Oklahoma City was about 2.5 tons of ammonium nitrate. Mm-hmm. The Beirut explosion was almost 2,500 tons of ammonium nitrate. So you need a lot of the shit to make a big bomb.
Sure.
And 50 pounds, I'm sure you could make a bang. I don't know. You might be able to kill somebody with that amount. I don't really know.
Oh, I'm sure you could kill someone.
But you're not taking down a big ass building. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're not taking a federal building down.
Then we get the really spicy meatball, which was that this whole thing was a red herring.
Okay, so if you're Ackerman's group, if you're Raw, why would you risk this other big bombing?
Huge operation.
Why would you risk that to have some dipshit skinhead who you already, there's friction between the skinheads and Raw because skinheads are sloppy per Raw.
Yeah.
Why would you risk your operation for a measly, what, they're getting a quarter, or they're getting a third, $250,000?
I didn't even think it was a third.
That's not enough to do
Well, it might have been a third, yeah.
I thought it was a third.
It might have been $250,000. It just seems to me like if you have that business, you can get a loan for $250,000, right?
Yep.
Your business is collateral for that. You're making sales. I'm sure, like, you're in Staten Island, like the prime customer base for your business as the racist gun store.
Yeah.
Like, it's just shocking to me that, like, you would risk that much for not that much money on the scheme of things. And it's like sloppy bullshit. It's one thing maybe kind of setting people up with each other, but having a paper trail like that the gun was purchased at your store. So
just nonsense.
The only reason anybody knows about any of this shit is because they went to your fucking store and saw the bookstore you have going on downstairs. Another thing maybe you should have off site if you don't want people coming knocking who are going to ask questions.
You think? And we get the we're not racists, we just needed money bit.
But the thing that's kind of hilarious about this too is that this scheme is completely fucking reprehensible. Like one of the worst things I can imagine. To do this to a fucking, what are these kids? 8, 10, something like that. That kid was not old. He was very young.
Yes.
That is awful. It is so fucking bad. But that also means that all of the vitriol spewed by Star Morrison and Kyle Ackerman and Brian Ackerman and Brandon Lee Jennings was for a red herring.
Absolutely.
Which
we get like the most racist thing I can recall seeing.
Which might even
I mean, obviously 12 Years a Slave, more racist. But like, can you remember a TV show that was as consistently racist as this is for 21 minutes?
I can't believe that they were allowed on primetime television. I can't believe it.
I can't imagine what the S&P call for this episode was like. It's just shocking to me. Whatever, let's rate this.
Yeah, let's rate this fucker. So, of course, we rate these episodes every week. We have a rigorous 4 criteria 10-point scale that we use to rank all of these episodes against each other. Now, we are ranking on the overall quality of the episode, the guests therein, how problematic it was, and the depth and breadth of lives ruined. Now, this episode definitely ticks 2 of these boxes pretty fucking hard.
Yep.
And I don't know how we can't give it extremely high marks on 2 of the categories.
I mean, it breaks the scale on one of them.
Yeah, it really does. And the other one, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Now, the other 2, I guess, are where it's going to kind of come back down to earth. But I feel like this one is one of those episodes where it's going to be a fairly high gap between the overall quality mark and the composite score that we spit out at the end. So should we just get rid of the 2 where we know it's going to kind of be off the charts? So let's start with
problematic 10.
It's a 10 with no question, right? And then problematic.
I mean, honestly, it's like a 15, but it's a 10. No hesitation.
From Marcia Gay Harden's accent, which is something that I don't even know if you can take a clip of Marcia Gay Harden speaking in this one, because I don't know that she says anything that we can repeat.
I don't know how I can clip anything from this. The little girl telling about how Mr. Bug Eyes
you
wants
might be able to clip Kyle talking about the game if you're very careful about your endpoints. On either end of that, there's definitely stuff that you can't clip.
Oh, because immediately after that, it's the your kind and an N-bomb.
Yep. They got a 16-year-old trial to drop an N-bomb.
It's
a lot. There's no question. Depth and breadth of lives ruined, also extremely high.
Judge dies. Court officer dies.
Yeah.
Another court officer shot.
Yeah.
2 members of the unit
shot.
A kid who's indoctrinated by his father.
A kid who's indoctrinated dies. In some ways, he's another victim because he's 16 years old.
Yeah.
So in the idea of the show, he is definitely a victim because he's been brainwashed by his dad.
Sure.
He is redeemable, right? 16-year-olds in the show.
Theoretically, yeah. Within the construct of the show. Yes.
I mean, I think in real life, that kid is probably better off dead than to live without you, you know?
Probably.
But still, the kid is dead. And the other kid is dead. Fucking what? I forget his name. Justin. I think his name was Justin.
Jeffrey.
It was Jeffrey. You're right. It was Jeffrey. An 8-year-old precious little boy is dropped on the spot. And 2 other kids also had GSWs and a whole school.
And Maddie, is it Maddie McCorkle?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maddie McCorkle, the little girl. Yeah. Also, she's been molested.
In real life, we have Maddie was Hinkle. What I forget her first name.
Cassidy Hinkle. Yeah.
Having to say that she had to drop her pants. She's 8 years old in real life. Drop her pants, and that if she told anybody, he would murder her family.
Yep.
And you have another kid who's doing stunts when he's not even credited.
Doing school shooting stunts.
Yes.
Not getting credited. Yeah. I mean, there are multiple other kids who are supposed to act traumatized about a school shooting, which
again, before Sandy Hook, so maybe it was a little less on the nose, but it's dark ass shit.
I think it's the 10 again,
gets
right?
There. For me, we've
got 2 members of the unit who get shot.
That's what I'm talking about. So it's got depth, right? We're talking about one of the most odious schemes I've ever heard of, perpetrated on an 8-year-old.
If it was just Munch and Elliot getting shot and Jeffrey Whitlock, that's probably a 10 by itself.
Yes,
honestly.
And then it has bodies dropping left and right.
Yep.
Yeah, 10.
And I mean, really, the 2 10s we've given certainly are in the discussion for breaking the scale.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the most problematic episode we've ever done.
It's problematic in its own way as opposed to some of the other ones.
And not in a fun way, I don't think.
No, but it's not. It also brings in there's a random sex crime red herring just for fun.
Oh, yeah.
Now we can get to where we can breathe and actually figure out what we just watched. I guess let's do the guests.
You've got a lot of people having to do the racism.
You've got a lot of people having to do the racism. I don't want to talk about Marcia Gay just yet, but...
No, I can't fathom being put in the place that Cody Cash.
I know. That's what
or
Cody Cash.
Or J.C. McKenzie.
Well, J.C. McKenzie at least is a goddamn man.
He also plays like a scumbag a lot of the time.
Yeah. On the scale of things that are said, he has the least odious lines because he's the kind of intellectual.
Yeah, he's the academic racist.
He doesn't say the shit that Cody Cash has to say, or fucking Marcia Gay Harden.
Or Joel Marsh Garland.
Yeah. Cody Cash... What they made him say is big yikes. And he really kind of gleefully did it.
I mean, it's a whole episode that he can't put on his reel.
He played racist kid to me very well. I don't know that I loved...
Brandon Lee Redding?
No, Brian Ackerman.
That's J.C. McKenzie.
Yeah, J.C. McKenzie. What?
Brian Ackerman's in another episode.
Oh, he is.
They visit him in jail. He's recurring.
Ah, right on. Okay, JC, that's why I couldn't find him. J.C. McKenzie. He's kind of...
And to me, in this, he's playing Matthew Modine.
Yeah, he is playing Matthew Modine. But without the range that Matthew Modine showed in the Matthew Modine episode.
No, I mean, I think he's playing Matthew Modine.
I know. That's what exactly. I agree.
He's not playing Matthew Modine playing the serial killer. He's playing Matthew Modine IRL.
I completely agree with you. I think it's kind of like a flat role. It doesn't do anything.
It's because you got 3 other people carrying the heavy weight of racism.
Now, as far as the racist lifters go, Cody Cash kind of seems to be enjoying it. But I think he's just a kid. I don't know. He's doing the thing. I think Joel Garland's he's very convincing as
he's chewing scenery.
Yeah, he's very convincing as the unredeemable prison white supremacist.
I gotta say, I kind of like his scenes with Novak.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, when he's we can make white, pretty white babies.
Not even going there. Not just.
But I mean, where's Horowitz's? Yeah, Joe Grafasi. Joe Grafasi is so good in those scenes too.
Oh yeah, when he is just I can't believe I'm fucking assigned to this fucking guy.
Brilliant. He's brilliant in those scenes. I thought Joel Garland was very good.
And I think Marin Hinkle and Mike Watford are also very good in this.
Yeah, they're believable the first time you watch it. Their grief is believable at the beginning.
Them being as convincing as they are, being aggrieved, that is where the episode falls apart because they're too good at it. And then you're like, wait, what? These people couldn't possibly pull this off because they're not actually people who went to Tisch, which Marin Hinkle is. But I don't think that's on them. I think they're asked very specifically to be this one thing, and then it's got to be a fucking ton of bricks dropped on the audience.
Yeah. Exactly. And I thought they're doing the right thing. Now, the problem with this episode.
Well, there are 2 problems. there are a lot of kids in this episode, and they're asking a lot of kids. Again, it's probably a quality versus performance issue, but they're asking a lot of kids to do things that I don't know that the kids are actually good at. Like Cassidy Hinkle is asked to do some fucked up shit here, or asked to say some fucked up shit. I don't think she pulls it off.
And I really think it was
but I'm not blaming her because she's like, what, 8 or 10 or something.
That's like a script organization thing, right? Like you could have interviewed all of those kids in just one scene where you're like
a montage.
Yeah, you just like hear like one line from each kid and you kind of like get a sense of what's going on.
Well, like they do when they're interviewing the girls about Coventry.
Yes.
Back in Possessed.
Yeah, exactly. There's a way to do that. We've seen it multiple times, this kind of breezing through things.
There's a way to do it where little kids aren't having to do as much heavy lifting as
they're not having to try to convince you that they've just been like traumatized by seeing their friend and classmate like bleed out in the sand pit, because that's pretty fucked up. That's asking a lot. Now, I think that's less on the kids than on maybe just
absolutely. It's a quality issue, but that it is still like in the performance vein.
Yeah. Now, the much bigger problem that I have, is MGH. Man, wow, it is hard to watch. The accent is way too big.
Yeah,
unnecessarily big. No
Agreed.
reason for that. Again, if it had just been while she's undercover and she drops it when she's like federal agent, it'd be like, oh, okay, she's doing a fake accent. But no, she comes back, 3 more episodes with this accent? Something like that?
One of which we've seen, and she definitely still has it.
Oh, yeah.
And it definitely sticks out like a sore fucking thumb.
Sure does. It's bad, man. I don't know how else to say it, but Marcia Gay is...
It's like she's trying to see if you can get an Oscar taken away.
Exactly.
For performance, not for slapping someone on stage.
Oh, gosh. So what do we call this? I think you have to weigh the good with the bad.
Yeah, she's doing a lot.
She's doing a lot.
Are we looking at a 4?
I think 4 makes sense because Joel Garland is very good in his scenes.
And we didn't really talk about John Rubinstein, but I think he's very good.
Yeah, he's very effective. He's the judge.
Yeah. Well, and John Cullum and Stephen Gregory get to do...
John Cullum and Stephen Gregory and... Gravassi are all great in this episode. And sometimes we don't get to see them as much as we do in other times. In this one, I think they all do shine.
Gravassi's like legit, like really fucking fun to watch.
Yeah, fantastic here. But Marcia Gay is so bad that it drags. It's like trying to run a marathon with somebody on your back.
With cement shoes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like not going to happen. So I'm okay with a 4 because I think that does acknowledge that that everybody else was good. So overall quality,
I don't even know.
I don't even know either. I don't even know if it's good or bad. It's definitely not an all-timer.
I mean, it's so shockingly racist.
Yeah.
That while you're watching, once 1620 hits, once they go downstairs in the gun shop, you're just inundated with racism.
Yeah. So as it turns out, when you choose the blue pill from Morpheus, you go down the racism pathway instead of going down the Matrix. And that's what happens to us in this one.
If we move past how shockingly racist everything that happens for 21 minutes is, and just look at the plot of the episode, it doesn't really make sense, right?
It doesn't really make sense. Like the whole crime itself kind of doesn't make sense. Now, the thing is, it is one of the most shockingly vile crimes I've seen them cook up.
Sure.
We only get to think about it for like 10 seconds and then the dick wolf
But
hits.
it's at least the dick wolf.
Yeah, it is the dick wolf.
And so like it ends at that like...
You're like, what? What did they do? For real?
I mean, it's insane that there's 21 minutes of full-on balls-to-the-wall racism, and it's all a red herring.
That's insane.
We watch this, and we enjoy this for a very weird reason.
And it does tick the box of it is wildly like inappropriate in the same way as them talking about giving child molesters their own like platform to espouse their points of view. There was no other show that gives this much racism this much time to breathe.
It's nuts. It's not a professionally done episode.
It's not. It is not a professionally done episode, but it is bonkers. I don't even know what we compare it to. That's the thing that's an issue that I have.
It's so unprofessional, but so wild. Should we just split the difference and say 5?
Yeah. I mean, do we have anything that's kind of approaches that? I was thinking about the Lou Taylor Pucci Chicago crossover episode, because we have moments of really like fun, wild stuff in that one. I think his performance we really liked, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
We gave that one a 4 in overall quality. That's why I'm just thinking about it. Maybe we just give it a 5, because it is up, it is down, it is all over the place. And at the end of it, I don't think it's one that you forget. So I guess I'm kind of okay with giving it a reasonably high score on our scale, which this will.
Yeah.
It'll give it a 7.25, which let's look at recent 7.25s. So Raw's the most recent, obviously. Mask, which was the first Jeremy Irons episode, was a 7.25. Oh yeah, Taboo. Taboo, in some ways, is reminiscent of this one because it's so fucked, problematic-wise. That we gave a 7.25 to. We gave a 7.25 to Bound. That was Matricide by Proxy. That was the Jane Krakowski, Anthony Rapp one. We had a bunch of these. Nothing Screams Cancun Spring Break, like Moose Antlers. That was Trade. A glorious 7.25. I think I might have missed one. Oh, Motherly Love. Given the genital geometry of everything, we don't know that it wasn't the poop shoot. So I think the theme with 7.25s is that they generally tick that problematic box pretty hard. I think that's the theme we're finding out here. But Josh, is it time to roll the next episode?
Head over to episode.lol, which was built for this podcast, but can be used at home for your own personal random TV watching. Built for the podcast by friend of the pod, Flet. The tape is spinning. Bill and Ted are decidedly displeased with their lot in life.
Oh, I hate that part.
And we have landed in season 21, episode 20. The things we have to lose. As Carisi begins the long-anticipated trial of Sir Tobias Moore.
Oh, God.
The Special Victims Unit faces setbacks in several other cases.
I'm going to let you know that I will have no idea what the fuck is going on in this one.
This one is insane. They're pulling together, I think, it's either 3 or 4 different cases that they're tying in together here. And this is the last episode they finished before the pandemic.
So they just were like, they were serializing the show a little bit on season 21 and needed to wrap everything up immediately.
Now, we have seen the B. Cordelia, Lakira Rebecca. Yeah. We've seen that play out at the first part. Yeah. And I think we saw Finn dealing with the fallout from the Leon Fuller, Andre Fuller, Joelle Fuller shit.
I think we did. Midnight in Manhattan. Yeah, exactly.
So those both come back here.
Okay. Well, that won't be so lost. Tobias Moore.
But the Tobias Moore shit, that is, he's not even in the episode. That's so dumb. But it's got to be
Ian McShane. Yeah, but it's got to be Dominique Strauss-Kahn, right?
No, because there's a DSK episode.
Oh, that's right. Jesus.
No, this is more like Harvey Weinstein.
Man, Ian McShane looks pretty fabulous as Tobias Moore, though.
Yeah, he would were he in this episode, but he is not in this episode at all.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's basically his lawyers doing lawyering.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, we haven't seen Kat in a very long time, so that'll be fun.
Well, as we now know, there's not a lot of Kat to see. Yeah. She doesn't quite get laked, but it's close. Yeah. Okay, so that's next week for episode 120, which is 3 away. I think that might be the first Munchy's Choice episode.
Oh, nice.
There hasn't been a decision yet on what one it'll be, but the first one that's been mentioned is a funny one to me. That's the one that someone wants us to do, which is hilarious. In a good way. I'm into it. I was a little worried that it'd just be like the low-hanging fruit of, let's get the Mark Paul Gosselaar episode or something like that, which is, I mean, I love that, but like, I kind of want to hit that randomly. I love the choice of what has been mentioned as the one candidate so far.
Excellent. I can't wait to read it. I have not read that comment thread, so I'll go check it out.
So I guess this is as good a time as any to mention that we do have a Patreon. That's just $5 a month. It gets you full access to the unedited versions of these podcasts, which have a ton of extra content. The one I'm editing right now, I've already cut out like 8 minutes and I just got to the end of the recap. So yeah, lots of stuff there. That one's going to have a lot cut. I'm probably going to cut about 45 minutes out of that episode. There's tons of extra content there. In addition to the unedited versions of the episodes, which there is also video of, we also have a monthly Munch My Benson movie club entry. This last month was Alphabet City, which was super fun. The next one we're doing is Wolfen, which will also be super fun.
Wolfen has a ton of people that have appeared in SVUs over the years.
Yeah, but primarily Diane Venora, who we were just watching last week.
Absolutely.
As the worst mother ever, maybe, and a homeschooler extraordinary.
Yeah, definitely a homeschooler, that's for sure. Maybe not as bad as the mother who frames her own kid for murder in Motherly Love, but
yeah, that's true. Motherly Love did happen. Although, well, she brainwashed her one son to kill her other son.
That's pretty bad. What about the mother who was spoon raping her own daughter for like 25 years?
Pretty bad for 20 years. Yeah. But I mean, there are a few moms that are in the short list of worst moms ever in SVU, and she's one of them, certainly.
Definitely.
But yeah, so Wolfen will be next. Should be fun. Also, I was just on, it'll probably be 2 episodes ago of These Are Their Stories. Nice. I was on, so Adam and I were on 2 of 3 episodes of These Are Their Stories when they were doing SVUs. Mine was Plastic, which is a crazy, fucked up episode.
Nice. Interesting. Good that both of us did ones that we hadn't done yet. So
yeah.
Yep. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was fun. Lots of fun. It's much more produced
big time.
than our thing.
Well, and like planned out. So like
in a way that would make it a lot easier to podcast.
Oh yeah. No, I can see why they do it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
You're like, wait, we've only been talking for 45 minutes? Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Adam and I are getting out of here on,
almost 2
pressing
hours.
Record for a 4th time. And this is a short one for us. Yeah. But yeah, so Adam and I have both been on These Are Their Stories recently. Please check those out. We were also recently on Fuck My Work Life and Chicklet at the Movies. All of those are in the show notes, so it should be easy to find them.
Sure.
We're on the socials. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Munch My Benson. We have our subreddit, r/Munch My Benson. You can email the podcast, munchmybenson@gmail.com, and our website, munchmybenson.com, has all of the information that you should need to do anything or find us anywhere.
Yeah, we have some merch available.
Indeed.
The links are on the website or in the show notes, but it's zazzle.com/something Munch My Benson. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, /store/Munch My Benson. I think it's some fucking
and I at some point when I recover from COVID and have some free time, I'll start adding some more designs too.
But we have 6 or 10 things or something that you can get. And you can always move the logos onto other items through the Zazzle.
Actually is
which you can kind of do with all of those sites.
It's a good one. But they have a lot of different options on Zazzle. So that's one reason I like it.
Yeah, so you can customize things too. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, whatever.
Yeah. I think that's about it, man. I think just don't adopt a child. Take out a very expensive life insurance policy on him and then
2 of them
get some racists to murk him. Don't do that. Please. I want you guys to munch away. I want you guys to be foster parents, adopt, just be good to children of the world. But man, wow, that's bad. And the episode leaves you reeling from all the racism that you hardly have time in your brain to even unpack how bad that is.
Yeah. Yep.
Poor little Jeremy. Justin, Jonas,
Jeffrey. He doesn't get credited either.
I know. That's what's so fun. But yeah, guys, I think it's time to get out there and start munching. And if you start feeling a tickle in the back of your throat, wait a couple days.
Take a test.
And you might get to miss some work. But get tested. Wear a mask.
Yeah. Mask up, people.
need someone to help me right now, preferably someone who speaks English with an IQ above 60.
Father.
Hello? Who's in charge of this cesspool?
That would be me, Mr. Ackerman.
Really? I didn't think they allowed white males in positions of power anymore, unless, of course, you're homosexual.
You know, your rant is even funnier in person than it is on your website.
Yeah, the requisite tune of feminist. Why don't you stay out of this one, Hillary? What have you done with my son?
Don't worry, his mind is just as warped as you left it.
Kyle!
Dad, I'd like you two to repeat what you said about my father to his face. Cowards.
I understand you homeschool this boy. You afraid to expose him to the truth?
My father's a brilliant teacher. He doesn't dumb down the lessons for minorities like they do in public school or distort history to mollify them.
Sweetheart, he's completely brainwashed you.
You're the idiot embracing the lies.